Confession of a Centurion. Dying on the cross, which is how Jesus died, was a very cruel punishment. It was immensely painful for any human being to have their hands and feet nailed on wood, get attacked by birds and animals for a few days, stand in the scorching sun in thirst, and endure all the wounds. In Roman times, people who did wrong were hung on the cross so that people who saw them would feel enough fear that they would never rebel against the emperor. Jews entrapped Jesus and Judas betrayed and sold him, but in fact, it was Pontius Pilate who gave the order to crucify Jesus. Pilate was the governor general of Rome who ruled Israel at the time. However, Pilate didn't think that Jesus had committed such a serious sin to be brutally hung on the cross, so he tried to release Jesus after striking him a few times. But the Jews shouted, "Crucify Jesus!" So Pilate ended up handing Jesus over to the soldiers who execute the crucifixion. The person who nailed Jesus on the cross was a centurion. He was a leader who had survived the numerous wars and battles. He had seen so many deaths in the wars that he was able to take charge of brutal crucifixion. As he had nailed so many others on the cross, the centurion nailed Jesus on the cross, then put a sign above his name that read, "King of the Jews." People that hung on the cross usually tried to endure the pain or often spat out curses because they couldn't stand the pain. But Jesus, whom the centurion had met, was different. It seemed to the centurion that Jesus had an attitude which just didn't seem to come from someone who was hanging on the cross. Every single word thrown from the cross made an impression in the centurion's heart. In particular, at the end, when Jesus said, "Father, into thy hands I commend my spirit," the centurion must have felt an indescribable sense of awe. So he said this unconsciously. Surely this was a righteous man. He was really the Son of God. The people whom the centurion had hung on the cross until then were all those who committed serious crimes and sins, but the centurion was sure that Jesus was not one of them. It would be the centurion's fault if the person whom he nailed on the cross was in fact a righteous person. It was a confession that laid down his status and conviction in the face of Jesus' death. As we look at the cross today, just like how the centurion did back then, let's make a confession and say, "You really are the Son of God, and we believe in this Son of God."